Did we talk about how we saw each other last week?
Because they all need to know about that.
In April.
Way back in April, because it's not April
May
now.
Yeah, it's May now. Are we that far ahead? Isn't it late April?
It would help if I'd looked this up beforehand. I don't know. I think it's either late April or early May. I mean, you know, that bump to the head of mine.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that clicking is not me clicking to look it up. It is the 25th of April today.
Oh, I'm 25 now.
Yeah, you're 25.
25.
I'm still 23.
That's not... I don't need to hear that.
Oh, this is our 49th episode. Next week we'll have the big 50.
Big 50? Oh, wow. That means we must have missed out 2 weeks over Christmas.
No.
If it's only 50, it should be 52, shouldn't it?
Our 52nd episode, our special anniversary episode is up on the 25th of May.
Right. Oh, yeah.
A special anniversary episode, we really should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of shit
But it wouldn't be 52. It wouldn't be 52 episodes because remember we had the special Christmas episode.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So it's going to fall at a random number. It's not even going to be 52 because it's going to be on the 25th of May. It's not even going to be on our regular day. So we can't. I don't know. It's going to get confusing for me anyway.
Yeah. I think we
so
probably,
you know Yulia, she was messaging me about how she was going to take a shot every time we said Scientology in the Golden Suicides episode.
Yeah.
So me and Matt will not be here next week because we have to go to our friend's funeral because she died of alcohol poisoning.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to hear that.
I just thought I'd lead with that.
It's a shame, because, you know, I do like Yulia, but...
Yeah, me too. I mean, she's one of our listeners, our valuable listeners.
But I could do with a good laugh, so, you know.
Wait till she hears this episode from the dead when, you know, because she's going to hang out with Annie and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, see, we should have an episode with both of them in it as ghosts.
Yeah, well, right. Yulia didn't do an episode when she was living.
Yeah, so now she's dead. She's got a lot of time on her hands.
Yulia wanted us to do episodes about quantum physics and stuff. Does she not see how dumb we sound on dumb subjects? Like, could you imagine if we tried to do an episode of quantum physics or mechanics or whatever she wanted?
Mechanics.
But yeah, how thick would we sound during those episodes? We sound thick enough during regular episodes.
You speak for yourself. I'm sure I could talk about quantum physics if I knew what it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's to do with space or something, isn't it? Quantum physics?
Yeah, I guess so, because Quantum Leap, the TV show, yeah, I think it'll probably be quantum physics.
I like how Quantum Leap's your reference point.
TV and film are my references for everything.
Yeah. Quantum Leap's where you learn everything about science, basically.
No, I haven't even watched Quantum Leap.
Haven't you?
I've watched bits and pieces of it. I haven't watched the whole thing. But it's called Quantum Leap, so I'm thinking quantum physics, because physics is physical matter.
Mm.
It will probably be about space.
You better hope so.
Or something sciencey. A quantum physics episode is going to be riotous.
Yeah, I think we've sounded clever already, so I can't wait until this quantum physics episode.
We should apologise to America, I think.
What, for what's about to happen?
No, for what we already did. Because, remember months and months and months ago we did a Useless Celebrities episode and you started picking on Donald Trump.
Mm.
I think what he's trying to do is get his own back now.
So it's my fault.
Yeah, I think it's a big fuck you to all of us because you insulted their toupee, the hairpiece.
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
He doesn't seem to like being insulted too much, does he?
Oh, no, he does not.
No. I mean, was that a segue by any chance?
It was a segue, but then I forgot where do we put the intro music? Now?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, so roll the intro music, please, Tamim, because you're the one that's probably going to edit this.
Yeah.
It's weird talking to myself.
Welcome to the Dorks Deduction Podcast, where we talk about stuff.
Please mute Matt here, so you just hear me speaking.
I think you should just do this podcast by yourself, because then you're the one that gets, the hatred.
What, from Donald Trump or from his supporters or from people that oppose him?
From anyone.
From anyone, okay.
I just hope you get all the hatred for this.
Yeah. So Donald Trump... You know what? I actually, for the longest time, up until a few weeks ago, I thought this whole thing was a joke with Donald Trump. I didn't realise people actually supported him.
He's been winning like loads.
And that's what made me realise, oh my
Since,
God,
like,
this isn't a
last
joke
year.
anymore. This is actually quite scary.
It wasn't a joke last year.
I just always assumed that people were, like, voting for him because they wanted to keep him there just so he could entertain them. And when it actually got to the important part, they'd get rid of him.
I don't what.
It's like, you know, those celebrity reality TV shows like Strictly Come Dancing and stuff. Like, people keep on the people that entertain them, but when it gets to the final round, they vote him out and go for the ones that deserve to win.
People keep voting for him, and it's because he's different, I suppose.
And that's what made me realise it's not a joke, and that's what's scaring me now, because it's scary if Trump gets into power.
Is it really, though? How much power does the president have?
Well, he is the leader of the United States of America, and that is one of the most powerful countries in the world.
He's the figurehead, though. How much decision-making is he actually going to be doing?
That's what I find funny, because I was reading up his policies on his website. He does make outrageous claims, like lowering tax and all that stuff, which to, like, the American public would sound good, but you can't just lower tax. Your taxes actually pay for shit. So if you lower tax, where is that money going to come from?
Yeah, but the argument could be taxes are going to pay for wars and stuff like that.
What taxes? What do you mean?
Taxes.
What wars? I mean, not taxes. What wars?
What do you mean, what wars?
You said the taxes are going to pay for
in the Middle
wars.
East and stuff like that. Syria, going to fighting Syria and stuff like that.
As in the present taxes or the taxes when he comes into office?
Well, not when he comes into office. It depends what he wants to do in Syria.
Well, it's funny you brought up wars and stuff. Another one of his policies is apparently America and China had some sort of deal, free movement in industry between the two countries. So China is allowed to sell their businesses or bring their businesses over to the US, and US is supposed to be able to bring it over into China, which apparently hasn't worked out. So Donald Trump, he says when he gets into office, he's going to enforce the fact that the Americas are allowed to sell their businesses and their tat in China.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it a point that they can't be messed with and manipulated. And the way they're going to do that is to have military presence in the south and the east of Asia, as in China, not Asia, China.
Yeah.
So it's funny how you said, lowering taxes means there's this money to go to fund wars and stuff. He's just going to put a military presence in China.
Yeah, but isn't there already
for
a
no
military
goddamn
presence
reason.
in China?
No, it's just to sort of bully and suppress them, to enforce them into going along with this thing.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's got some ridiculous ideas, but he's also got some decent ones, I think, as well. He supports putting tariffs on China, because part of the problem is that China has its prices so low that it's just driving out competition from anywhere else. So, for example, you know the steel company in this country that's going bust?
Yes.
It's because basically China sells its steel for so low prices, it devalues its currency and stuff like that. And America's just kind of accepted the kind of low prices. But if you put a tariff on it, and even actually some economists have said this is what you need to do, you need to put tariffs on the prices or the taxes or something, the sales of China's stuff. Because that's why our steel companies are going down the drain. Because China can just do it for so much cheaper. You know, I think you have to take, with Trump, you have to take the rough with the smooth a bit.
But then is he actually going to be stopping the American companies from using the Chinese resources to make their products cheaper and sell them at an extortionately high rate? Just to earn money, big money for big companies.
Yeah.
It has to be a two-way street.
I do think it's an interesting thing that he's kind of considered as kind of like an anti-establishment figure when he's kind of part of the establishment. You know, he's a massive
I know, that's what I was... Yeah, because I was reading up his policies and he's trying to say that this is for the good of normal people. I was like, he doesn't know how to be a normal person.
Yeah, he's never been.
And you know this lowering tax stuff, it's because the middle class have a hard time earning money. He didn't mention the working class or the low class at all in his policy. It starts from middle class upwards.
Yeah.
And taxes on them.
But, I mean, even Bernie Sanders is a bit like that. He says that he's for the middle class. You know, you've kind of... I think some people feel that, I suppose, if you help the middle class, you're helping the working class at the same time. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, though.
I just don't like class, to be honest.
Yeah, but ultimately, is it something you have to put up with anyway?
Yeah, I guess.
I think class is more about money these days, to be honest, than anything else, isn't it?
Thing is, it's not even really about money, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because you can be of a high class and have no money because of your background.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's monetary at all. Like, I don't understand class because when I was like younger, we were doing an exercise in class and trying to figure out what class we were in. Which, reflecting back on it now at this moment, why would you get children to do that?
Yeah.
But apparently I was middle class because my father was self-employed. I don't actually feel middle class at all. I mean, I don't have... When I think middle class, I think people that have disposable income and properties and things like that. I have none of those things. My family have none of those things.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we do have properties and things, so that was kind of a lie. Maybe I have no point, actually. I don't have a point. I guess I am sort of middle class.
I think the boundaries between kind of working class and middle class are much more blurred than they used to be, because I think class was important to like my kind of parents' generation. So I think a lot of like, I can see in my family, a lot of people sort of becoming middle class as being quite important in a way.
But now it's sort of meshed together.
Yeah, also I think...
And we all mix and we all procreate with one another, I guess.
Also, I think back then class was kind of important. If you tried to become middle class, you were seen as almost being like a class traitor to some people. It's like that kind of desire to be aspirational, kind of you get looked down upon for being that. So it kind of works both ways. You can look down on people of a lower class and you can look down on people that are like higher class. So, but this has been a riveting discussion about Donald Trump. Yeah, we talked about Britain already. But yeah, getting back to Trump. But see, one thing I think he does point out is we do need to get out of the Middle East. We're constantly being involved in there, and he said he would like to get out. No, that is a good
sentiment, and that's a good idea, and we should be out of the Middle East, but it will never bloody happen because you earn so much money off the resources they get from there.
Yeah.
That's the reason for all these illegal wars. I mean, I don't care what reasoning people give to all of these illegal wars and all these saying, oh, I might invade Syria next, I might invade this, I might invade that. It is down to money. I mean, come on, with the Iraq war, how illegal did that turn out to be? Exactly. Yeah. People saying that, well, US was saying there's weapons of mass destruction. The UK joined in. They went and invaded Iraq. Where were the weapons of mass destruction? They only found some from the Gulf War that were like decades old. And I don't even know if they were active or not. They probably weren't. Yet, when they discovered the oil, I think they just split it between the 5 richest countries or something like that.
I think also there's a problem that I think we're also doing, like, we've got allies in the Middle East, obviously, as well. And it feels like often we're doing, like, America's doing their bidding for them sometimes as well. Because America's got obviously it's got the might and it's got the power to do that, but it just, I think it's so complex as well. So
basically, whenever America say they're gonna like invade or get involved in another country's affairs, I just automatically don't trust them because they do not have a good track record. They just seem like they're out for themselves as well. It's never about bettering another community.
No. Well, I was going to say, it kind of ruins it, kind of, if there ever was like a legitimate reason, if there was genuine like humanitarian grounds, would they be able to do it these days? Because people are so suspicious of them. They've had so many problems with, say, Iraq.
People outside of America are suspicious of them. People inside America don't seem as suspicious. Why can't I say suspicious?
Suspicious.
There we go, suspicious. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying everyone is gullible in America, but a fair few are, and they just go by with whatever they've been told.
I don't know, because the problem is the military is very sacred in America, isn't it? So I think...
Yeah, but even some of the people that are in the military don't believe in the wars that they're fighting in.
Yeah.
And they have come out and publicly said that.
There's an interest...
With their faces covered.
I think the problem is America's response to any crisis, if something happens to them, their response is always to bomb somewhere.
Yeah, which it's just... Ugh.
Yeah, it's institutional. It's always been their response since, I think, the 70s.
I know, but you have to evolve, okay? You can't just attack... Say, okay, come on. Say you had a kid and they were someone had insulted them, would you suggest that their retaliation would be to punch them?
Probably not.
No, it would be to reason with that person that's insulting them, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, just on a larger scale where people die.
Yeah, because I think it can be just like if like just a couple of American people die, America's response has to be seen as doing something. So America kind of decides to bomb somewhere, wherever it is, you know. And it does.
But
it
one
does,
day, I'll tell you, one day, someone's not going to put up with it. Russia's going to get involved, or China's going to get involved, or something like that.
Yeah.
And they aren't going to take it because, like, America did want to invade Syria after that uproar kicked up, and then Russia were against it, so they backed down.
Well, actually, Obama wasn't keen on invading Syria, but people around him were, and he wanted to negotiate the removal of the chemical weapons in Syria, and so he negotiated with Putin. So, because one reason I do like Obama is I think he is trying to at least change that kind of continuous cycle of invading kind of in the Middle East and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess that's true because he was trying to withdraw troops and stuff. He was stabilising the government and trying to withdraw troops. Whereas George Bush, Bill Clinton, and who was the one before Bill Clinton? I don't know. All they did was war. That was their first response.
Yeah. So, I mean, because George Bush Sr., he was involved in the Iran-Iraq war, but it was literally because I think Iraq tried to invade Kuwait or something like that, and the Americans stepped in then. But they didn't. The one sensible thing they didn't do was try and topple Saddam Hussein then, because there was no legitimate reason to. And I think that's kind of the best way of going about it. If you're going to get involved at all, you can't legitimise regime change. And America's kind of. I mean, how often does regime change work? In the 70s they backed regime change in Chile. And Chile got Pinochet, and he was, he wasn't a nice guy. So, they've got a bad track record when it comes to regime.
Yeah, but
change.
also because they do, well, I'm just going to say it again, they look out for themselves, their own interests. So if they back a certain person, it's because, I don't know if this is my conspiracy theory mind on, but it's because they have an agenda.
Yeah, but isn't that obvious? Every country's got an agenda.
With America, it's because they keep trying to, at least they try and pretend that it's not. They think it's going to, they just say it's going to. I'm sorry, I keep saying America like everyone's involved.
Yeah.
I meant the American government. Every time I'm saying America, I mean the American government. Because I don't think every person in America is horrible. Apparently, I think your government is.
Yeah.
What was I saying? This is what happens. I get lost in a train of thought and I've forgotten what I was saying.
The American government tries to put on the face that it's doing something honourable.
Yeah, and most of the time it's not. It's just for their own personal reasons. And the same with the British government, actually. They align themselves with the Americans all the time. They're so far up the American government's arse. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Problem like foreign policy is that it's easy to constantly think America's the bad guys. And but the problem with thinking that is it just assumes everyone else is acting around them rationally. Everyone's being nice. And it's just big old America being the bully. That's not the case, sometimes.
No, I think everyone's at their own level of evil. Every government is at their own level of evil.
Yeah. The problem with American foreign policy as well is it's what it's got to be seen as doing sometimes. So it has to be seen as doing something for show. It's like for show, basically. So it can be showing its allies that we're a strong country, and showing its enemies, look what we can do. That's how I kind of see it, really. But
I can't believe we're actually doing an episode on politics. I thought we were just going to bash Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to Donald Trump, it's like people saying, "Oh, it'd be really scary," or it'd be, he's like this fascist or something like that. I think I've got more faith in the American kind of political system. Like, he'd have to get through policies through Congress for a start.
Oh yeah, they'd probably shoot anything unnecessary down. It's just the fact that he's not a politician. I can't put my faith in him as a politician. I can barely put my faith in politicians.
Yeah.
And he's not. He was a guy that was rich and he wanted to be a celebrity and then he wanted power.
Yeah.
So this is the ultimate form of it. So I don't actually, for him to go up for presidency, it's just, that's what's scary. It's like, this guy doesn't actually care, I don't think. I think he just wants power.
But you could say the same with Clinton.
What, Hillary Clinton or the
Hillary
other one?
Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. I feel sorry for her because I feel like she just sat back and watched her husband do everything. For how long was he in? 2 terms? 8 years.
I don't think that's how other people see it.
Just think that now she just wants her time in the sun.
Yeah.
I feel a bit sorry for her. But then she's always going to get compared to her husband.
But
I don't really think...
Even if you compare her on her own record, which isn't great, I mean, as Secretary of State, Libya, that's hardly something to be proud of. She supported a coup in Honduras, which supported someone who wasn't particularly great. So she's not got a great record. I mean, people are putting that up as a reason why she'd be president. She's got the experience. But her experience isn't great. It's nothing to be proud of. I mean, she's a big fan of Henry Kissinger, who's not a person that I'd be proud of supporting. So
basically, anyone in the Republican Party is kind of just, yeah. Well, Hillary Clinton, I've already told you my thoughts on her. I just don't think...
Yeah.
There's nothing that makes her stand out as a politician either. Like, I can't think off the top of my head any of the policies she's talked about before. I genuinely can't. Whereas at least with Donald Trump, I didn't really have to look it up that much. I sort of had an idea.
The problem with Trump is that you can't really tell what he believes or not, because you just feel he's so desperate to get in to be president.
No, I think he's desperate for attention and for the power. I think he'll, at this point, say anything.
And I think another problem with Trump is that at various times in the past, he's been Democrat, Republican. And so, in the early 80s, he was Republican, and then he was Democrat for a while, then he was Republican again, then he was Democrat. I think he was an independent for a while, and now he's Republican again. And I just think it's because he sees that as his best chance of being president.
Or it could be just because he agrees with that policy at the time. He might not have agreed with the Republican policy while he was a Democrat.
Yeah.
I mean, because people that have voted Labour last year, they might not have voted it the year before. It's the same thing. You might have a change of opinion or a change of heart about it, or you just don't agree with them, or you don't like how productive they've been, or what they've been doing in their party.
Yeah, but I just think the problem is how many change of hearts do you need, though?
I think a lot of people might flip back and forth.
Yeah, I think, again, it's the same problem with Clinton to a degree. What are the core, policies that you've always kind of believed in? You can change your mind about certain things, but you should have, something essentially you've always believed in, I suppose. That's what I think.
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like with a lot of Americans, they do flip back and forth sometimes between Democrats and Republicans. I think it's just because they try out a Democrat for a while and they don't like the way the country's been run. Then they decide to go for a Republican and don't like how the country's been run. And they switch back and forth. I wish they'd just realise they're never going to be fucking happy.
Yeah, I think that's also another problem. America's kind of got a lot of faith in politics. It believes it. Well, it is almost like a faith, over there. In some ways.
It is, they really do. I find it really odd though, because they believe in their politicians and they support them so hard. But if you came to England, the way we talk about our politicians, how much they get ripped on panel shows on TV all week, every week, is kind of ridiculous. But then they sort of go along with it, I guess. They see the humour. Whereas it's just so serious and uptight there, and people are just like, no, you can't joke about these things. It's like, fucking hell. Chill the fuck out. Watching Americans debate over on Facebook over certain things is funny.
I think because America's had the Daily Show and Colbert, but even then it's
it's pretty tame.
Really, it gets really political at times though as well.
Well, yeah, because wasn't he at some point a political correspondent or something like that?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's someone else. Probably
maybe someone else. Also, I think over there, the Republican and Democrats, I suppose there's a big difference in some ways as well. Compared to over here, where Labour and Conservative, I mean, until just recently, you couldn't really tell which party was which.
Really?
Could you? I couldn't.
I could. Conservatives are more for the wealthier of people. Labour is for the normal people. Lib Dems were used to be for students and the future of the country, but they're not anymore because they don't give a shit and they've completely sold out. UKIP and BNP are for racists. The Green Party, I have no idea, to be honest.
I couldn't really tell the difference between Labour and Conservative.
Really?
They just look like the same people.
Can I just say one thing? It's going to be in support of Trump, actually. I completely forgot when I was talking about the taxes. He wants to get rid of the death tax. So, you know what, people, when you die in America, if Trump gets in, you will not have to pay for it.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never understood that. Shouldn't, like, your family get reimbursed for you dying because you're not going to be using up oxygen, you're not going to be using up any more resources? They should get money for that.
Yeah.
No, but they have to pay to let you die.
Wow.
Yeah, basically.
That's idiotic.
Yeah, they have to pay to let you die, but they won't keep your relative alive on machines either, because that will cost money. It's really weird.
That's just, I don't know. There's some dumb rules out there, even in this country. Are.
Even Donald Trump saw this was a really fucking stupid one.
Yeah, I think the way I feel about him is like people saying if he becomes president, the world's going to fall apart or something. No, it's probably not. You know, he might come across stupid, but I don't think he's really that stupid.
If he was stupid, he wouldn't have earned as much money as he has, and he wouldn't be as successful as he is.
I think he's been clever enough to realise that his way to get to being president is from being different, from not being the establishment figure. I think he's cleverer than people give him credit for.
No, I don't think he's stupid. It's just I think it's sort of still was a bit of a joke him running. I just don't see him as some sort of authority figure or political figure. I couldn't imagine him being president. That's why I thought for the longest time it was a joke, but I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that's partly because, like, in this country, whenever some, like, celebrity figure does run, it's usually as some kind of joke, whereas in America, their celebrity figures do genuinely run for kind of
Arnold
stuff like
Schwarzenegger, who's Austrian, became the governor of California. He is Austrian, right? I think he's something like that.
Austrian, yeah. Well, even, like, Reagan used to be an actor. You know, I mean, to be fair, he was a senator before he was president, but still, he was an actor at one point.
George Clooney, I think George Clooney will probably end up going that way, or he'll try to.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt with all their humanitarian efforts.
Yeah.
Well, I would say they would attempt to, but they don't even live in America, do they? They live in France.
I think they even live in this country at some point.
Yeah,
well.
I think they live in Richmond. They have a place in Richmond, I think. But
yeah. I just kind of feel America's like, their actors are so close to the political. I would never let myself get that close if I was an actor.
Yeah. You have a job, okay? Your job is to act, okay?
Yeah, but also you're allying yourself with people who I wouldn't necessarily want to ally myself with. You know, politicians, you know, well, I mean, would you really want to be, you know, like Kevin Spacey was, you know, been good friends with, like, Bill Clinton. Like, Clinton's not exactly, you know, Mr. Clean, is he?
I wonder if she still has that dress.
Some people are talking about the point that if Hillary Clinton does become president, she'll be sitting at the desk that Monica Lewinsky was apparently under or something at some point.
Oh, God, yes, she would, wouldn't she?
Yeah. And you're like,
why the fuck could she be okay with that? But then again, it's a political marriage, right? I mean, to be honest, I doubt there's much love there. Their life is politics.
Yeah. She's like, I've been watching Veep recently, and she brings out her daughter when she's campaigning, and Hillary Clinton does the same thing, and it's so like, and it's to try and, like, win votes as well. Yeah. And you're like, it's kind of like, but
then any public industry does it. Like Hollywood does it as well. They manufacture relationships and families and stuff. The music industry do it. They do it for press.
Yeah, I think that's probably the whole point of American politics. A lot of it's about acting half the time, or the main bit. The election times, it's so much about acting.
I wish politicians were more honest. Like when Gordon Brown, he accidentally called that woman a bigot.
Yeah.
On the microphone, and then went and apologised for it, which I thought was the wrong thing to do. It's like, she was a bigot, so you should have left it as it was. Be more real, people. If you're fake and I can see that you're fake, I'm not going to respect any ounce of you.
Yeah, but I think the problem with that is that she was just, you know, a normal kind of, like, working class person. And if she had, like, a legitimate concern and you go calling her a bigot, it kind of shows, like, it's like, there was some Labour politician.
No, but you can have a concern and then you have to portray it in a certain way.
Yeah, I don't remember that story that well, so I can't remember what she said.
It was something racial.
Was it?
That's why he called her a bigot. I understand if you're afraid of immigration because there's less work and you're afraid you might be out of work. That's fine. But there's a certain way that you say it.
Yeah.
And there's certain ways that you don't. You don't say all these Poles are coming over here and taking my jobs. That's offensive.
Yeah, there's some like Labour politician, and it was like some guy just put an England flag over their house. It's like made a really snooty remark about it. And Labour's meant to be like the party of like kind of working people, and it kind of just sometimes shows how much contempt they've got for the people they're meant to be representing at times.
I just say we do away with all governments, man, and just live in shit, man. I want to see everything go up in flames.
Yeah, but I think beyond all the kind of showing stuff of politics, you know, it is essentially about the running of the country. All the politicians we see are just the faces of it all.
Pretty
but
much, and
that,
most of the time they work together anyway.
What?
Well, politicians, they tend to work together anyway.
Yeah, but I think there's like, saying getting rid of the government, how are you going to run everything?
No, that's what I mean. It could be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And not that I think
sure
we benefit from not having government, because we need some sort of structure.
Yeah.
I can see that, even though we have... to be fair, I say we have a shitty government. I don't think me or anybody else is ever going to be completely happy with the government they have.
Yeah.
But we need that. We need some sort of structure, some sort of enforcement on us to keep... Well, not keep us in line, but... We have to know right from wrong, or to stop us from doing something too wrong, stop you from going on a murder spree, Matt. But I do feel like it might be funny just to see how people cope without that. I'm not saying that it should happen, but it would be interesting to watch. But I like it when shit hits the fan and apocalypses and stuff. You already know this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the electromagnetic pulse to wipe out everything, and then we all descend into chaos.
Yeah.
Because people can't take selfies and put it on Instagram straight away. That's what I'm going to do. If I ever, like, become Führer or become, like, a tech goddess, I am going to corrupt all the social media in the world and see how people cope. Because I know I'd cope okay with it because I barely use it.
Yeah, it'd be meltdown, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but everybody else, all those teenagers going crying... They're not going to be able to take their 27 selfies of the day and say, oh my God, I'm so ugly, to get compliments.
Yeah.
Ah, man. If I was Führer, life would be interesting.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, my point now is that this is more related to your kind of getting rid of government thing. I accept the government, whole thing's flawed and stuff like that. I'd still rather have the people in government than Russell Brand. You know, come on. But the weird thing is people actually kind of like him to be Prime Minister or something like that.
He wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's calling for all this, like, anarchy and saying, oh, you shouldn't vote and stuff like that. I'm like, why are people listening to him?
I don't think there's anything wrong with a bit of anarchy, but, yeah, maybe don't vote Russell Brand into power, because he's shag his way through the cabinet, maybe, I guess, rather than... you know, enforcing policies.
Yeah, back to Donald Trump.
So this hasn't even been about Donald Trump. We've just been doing it on politics.
Just in general. Well, it was meant to be about the whole kind of 2016 kind of election thing, wasn't it?
Really? I thought we were just going to be insulting Donald Trump. So I was really excited, and I talked to Bill Smith about it.
Did you?
Yeah, do you want to know what he said? He gave me a few tidbits about the American politicians. Well, he gave me a couple of trivia facts that I did not know, and I'm so glad I know that now. Well, first of all, he requested that we bash Donald Trump lots, which we haven't really done, Matt, and thanks to you. Bill's not going to like you much, is he? Apparently, Bill Clinton's mother, or Hillary Clinton, I don't know, he just says Clinton's, was a legitimate whore.
Ooh.
And Barbara Bush's mum ran with Aleister Crowley, and some people believe him to be her real dad.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's juicy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that stuff.
Well, I'm enlightened, to be fair, now.
Yeah, so yeah, he gave us that information. We have not bashed Donald Trump for him.
Yeah. Well, getting back to the serious point, I do think out of the Republicans, I'd still rather have Donald Trump than any of the others.
The only other one that I know is Hillary.
Hillary's a Democrat.
Oh, is she a Democrat?
Yeah.
Fuck. I thought she was a Republican.
No.
Bernie Sanders, he's a Democrat, isn't he?
Yes.
I want Bernie Sanders in. Okay, that's how little I know and care about Hillary Clinton and what she stands for. I didn't even know what she was, what political party she was.
I think that's part of her problem. You just don't know what she stands for.
I just assumed she was a Republican for some reason.
Why?
I don't know why.
Did you not
I
know
just
Bill
did.
Clinton was a Democrat?
Yeah, well, okay, I don't know why. I just thought she was a Republican, okay?
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, right? I told you, I don't even know any of her bloody policies.
Well, at least people be listening to our expertise, then.
I mentioned before I like watching Americans argue over Facebook. What I like more is Americans arguing with non-Americans about US politics over Facebook.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's none of our business. It sort of is, because you live in the fucking world that we share.
Yeah.
It is our business. And seeing as though the President of America is the President of one of the most influential and powerful countries in the world. So, yes, it does matter to us. And, sure, we might not get voting power, but we're allowed an opinion.
Yeah. Whoever becomes president has got to deal with the rest of the world.
Exactly.
So, I think we
and
do
if they're
have an
completely
interest.
unlikable and their policies, other countries don't agree with at all,
Yeah.
a military presence in China, that's going to be ridiculous to enforce. But I kind of want Donald Trump to be president just to see him try and do that. China.
Yeah. I just got a feeling he's going to be disappointed if he becomes president.
He's not going to be able to do any of the stuff that he said. I mean, there's no way that the Congress and the rest of the government are going to allow him to lower taxes all round.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that he can enforce is something that's already enforced, like the right to bear arms. That was one of his policies. They already have that right. Nothing would change. And it's a stupid right to begin with. It's the fifth. It was like the on the commandments or something, right? Not the commandments. What's the word?
Constitution.
Constitution. That's the word. Commandments is from the Bible. Constitution. But that was written eons ago when guns were like a shotgun and it would take like an hour to load it. Now you have fully fledged machine guns. People should not have access to all that hardware. And on his website, he was saying, oh, people that own guns are being penalised for the people that run around shooting people. It was like, yeah, because the people that run around shooting people also own guns and have access to guns.
Yeah.
And the reason they have guns is because it's so easy to get them. All you need is like a driver's license at this point.
Yeah.
To prove your age, and so that they could take your information down, and anyone could get a fake driver's license.
Yeah.
So that's the only one that he can actually enforce, and I see merit in him enforcing is the one that doesn't need to be enforced because they already have it. If that made any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Gun control's so weird because I think, isn't it just obvious you don't want the wrong people to get guns?
Yeah, so you shouldn't have it freely available, which they do.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if you don't have any like mental problems or anything like that, if there's no signs
but
that
that's
you're
the problem. Even if you don't have mental problems, what's to stop someone coming into your house and taking one of your guns?
Yeah.
Or what's to stop your child who's unstable and you hadn't even realised taking your gun, shooting up a school full of children? That's the problem with guns. How it's so easily accessible. It's in like loads of households, just ordinary households.
Yeah.
So it is easy to get.
I mean, they could argue though that's not a problem with the actual gun owners. That's a problem with people who just kill people.
Yeah, with guns. So you take the guns away because they can try and stab them, but that would take longer.
That's not going to stop gun shootings,
but like
is it?
other ways of
People
no,
are gonna
because
find
it's
ways to get
faster.
guns.
Shooting people is faster. If you try and stab someone, it's going to take longer. You might miss. Someone might disarm you in the meantime.
Taking away guns isn't going to stop gun crime. People are still going to be able to get guns. It'll just be a
but you
little
have to
bit
make it harder for them. That's the point. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry should be able to get a gun. You shouldn't be able to get a gun just because of a Fifth Amendment right that was written centuries ago.
Yeah.
When it's not actually relevant because the times have evolved. Like I said before, it was like shotguns, now it's machine guns, for crying out loud, and regular people can buy them.
Yeah. Some people could argue that by allowing the government to control guns and stuff like that, it's giving the government a monopoly on violence. So they're the only ones that are allowed to be violent.
Well, they're violent anyway.
Yeah, but how would you be able to stop that? It's a bit more.
So the guns are for the civilization to fight back against the government, but if they did go and shoot police officers, what the fuck would happen to them anyway?
So when and shot police officers.
Yeah, or something, or a politician or something. You're saying that so they have a right to fight back against the government, right?
If it was an authoritarian government and it was committing...
Yeah, so what would happen to them anyway? If they shot someone that's in a position of power, or a member of government, or a member of the police force, what the fuck's going to happen to them anyway? They're going to get strung up. They're going to get put on death row.
I suppose that...
So what fucking difference does it make, Matt? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't it give people a chance?
Well, they're still going to end up on death row. I mean...
Yeah, but
so I don't understand. I still don't understand the point of it all.
Enough people had guns, they might be able to, overthrow the government.
Yeah, but we've just talked about how... we need a government.
Yeah, but then you create the government afterwards.
Yeah, but generally people are stupid.
It's a hypothetical point.
Normal people aren't smart enough to do that, okay? Yes, we could vote, but we have to have options. Do you really think we could come together and make our own government? Because we're just regular people.
I think in times of when it's as extreme as that, you'd be surprised how people come together.
You mean like in The Walking Dead?
Yeah, I think if it got to that point, and I know it's a hypothetical point, but it's just a point. I'm not necessarily saying that's what I'd want. In general, I'm for gun control. But I think
most people that aren't living in America are for gun control.
Yeah, well, I don't know, actually, that's the problem. Not enough people are.
What, that aren't living in America? People outside of America?
People in America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People outside of America are for gun control. People in America are not. But, okay, fine, I'm not getting involved. It's your kids that they're killing, right?
Yeah.
Is your schools that they're going into, your citizens are going into and shooting up?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, fine, keep your guns, I don't care. Go ahead. I don't want to hear about any more school massacres. Deal with it yourself. It's sad, maybe I care too much. I don't like hearing about these school massacres. But that's why I'm for gun control. I don't really want to see the bodies of children sprayed around school corridors.
Yeah, I think their point is that it's not the guns, it's the people who own them or use them.
Yeah, the people that use them are regular people.
For gun control, isn't it? So
I think things are getting a bit heated.
Not between us two.
Not between us two. It's between me and the hypothetical American government that I'm talking to. Hypothetical. They exist, but they're not really listening to us, are they?
No.
But I think things are a little heated. One of the reasons being because I didn't actually get to insult Donald Trump as much as I thought I would, and now I have no idea what to call this episode.
I just want to point out, I wouldn't support Donald Trump in an election.
Neither would I. I want Bernie Sanders.
Go for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I'll go for Bernie Sanders. Again, that's because we're outside America.
Yeah.
If only we could vote in American elections.
Okay, if it came to Trump and Clinton, who would you vote for?
To be fair, you know what? My family are Muslim and my family live in America.
Yeah.
So I'll go for Clinton.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the comments he made about, we should keep them out until we figure out what we can do with them. Or we should have some sort of a tag on them or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The majority of Muslims aren't terrorists.
I think most people accept the problems, within, countries.
The most people that are affected by Muslim extremists are Muslims themselves.
Yeah.
And also, only 10%. I think it's 10%. No, it's less than 10%. It's something percent. I don't know why I thought 10% of terrorist attacks are actually Muslim extremists. So, so purely because of that, the fact that my family are Muslim and they live in America...
Yeah.
I'll go for Clinton.
What
I sort of have to, don't I?
Yeah. That's weird. Well, what if, your family lived in Libya or somewhere like that? Would you...
They would have... They're smart people. They would have sought asylum somewhere else. The thing is, they shouldn't have to seek asylum from America. That's supposed to be a forward-thinking country.
Yeah.
And also a country made up of immigrants, might I add.
Yeah, it's weird, that one, isn't
it? Yeah, there seems to be a lot of racism at play.
Yeah, it's always seemed strange to me, that.
The only true Americans are the Native Americans, so maybe we should vote one of them in to be president. I think, you and Chris talked about that a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your Jeff is the other one. Okay, I think that covers it, but I think...
Yeah.
I think we should wrap things up because the problem is we could probably go on forever and we can't because I need to edit this.
Yeah.
So I won't let us, and this was only supposed to be... I was hoping it would only be 40 minutes maximum recording to edit down to maybe about half an hour and be a short one, but I was wrong.
Well,
so
I think we've said all we should say for now.
Yeah, because it's not going to make a difference because we can't vote.
Yeah, maybe when it comes around to election time, we can do another thing.
And then it'll go out 3 months after the person's been elected. Yeah.
No. I mean, we do one in advance of the election, and then release it on election day.
Okay.
But then I'm not sure how much politics we should do.
Yeah, I'm not very good with the politics, if you hadn't noticed. I was just basically responding to you most of the time. I'll tackle the Arbuckle. That's the shit I know. Right, so I think we should say goodbye.
Yeah, okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.